Cunk on Earth. What should I say here? It's hard to say in a way. Well, it would be easy to dismiss it, to say it's outrageous and it's a few laughs maybe annihilated by the embarrassment in quite a few segments, but the harm it can do, and I would say it surely does, because you would have people there in the audience that will take some of the crazy things the presenter says as well a new theory. And they embrace conspiracy theories from the Americans that took their own towers down to Jewish space lasers that change the weather which doesn't change. There's so many. It's just a hoax. The Americans, others, West, wanting to sell, I don't know, everything, weapons, panels, to control your mind, things like that. So you have that when she's putting it, the pyramids, why they start from the up down. Sometimes, as I said, it's funny, and for many, now on the other side, it's a question of how it's not what happens, it's what you make of what happens. The Stoics said that a long time ago. Of course, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and there's a question of a merit finder or a fault finder. Be a satisfier, not a maximizer. That's from the Paradox of Choice, classical psychology by Barry Schwartz. You have people who want perfect. If you want perfect, nothing is. Those who would satisfy will say, oh, okay, there's some funny points, so why not enjoy? And indeed, it's at times. Of course, you need to laugh when she's asking experts and she comes out with some crazy ideas. Some they don't resonate, but at least with me, old-fashioned, retrograde, foolish. What's the very proof that this is useless is the fact that quite a few of these video notes have 2 viewers, if that. I mean, they just come across this, and then they stop. Even when there were some hundreds, indeed, some videos had a few thousand viewers, which is nothing when you think a video with a bird and a cat, let's say. There's a tree cat, that one over there. I don't know if you see it in the background. She's coming down the tuya tree there. And she's been living at high altitude, so to say, for quite some time. That's because there are quite a number out there. And they're territorial. In the pool one, found the way refuge by climbing. There's a garage there, there's a small balcony out there, and she's not not on the ground, but in trees, and as I said, yeah. So a video with that cat and this one, they sometimes meet in the garden with me, and they might get some views. Coming back, so she's asking this expert, did the Romans invent animal bleaching? Let's say they did. And of course, quite a few of them are taken aback, and they, reject the notion, but their stupefaction is something to see. So they rely on this. That's the point of looking at history in a different manner, because we have, and I sometimes watching quite a few are interesting, of course, Discovery Channel, History Channel. In fact, you have 2 history channels here. I mean, America maybe that's 50. I don't know. And one is a serious one. The other one is strange. And you look at it in a conservative way. Now they try a different approach, and that reminds me, I've seen, and it can be so fantastic. Funny architecture. Looking at the history of architecture, and with limitations, you wouldn't have an expert looking at that, except as fun in a few minutes, on a plane. But otherwise, it can be really interesting. I'm left with Eastern architecture developed on the horizontal line with domes, vertical Western architecture. I think. And we're talking Middle Ages. Cathedrals high, developed on the. Speaking of Middle Ages, she's going with Dark Ages. She's pretending to be a fool, of course. You mean the Dark Ages? No, that's just, we don't use that anymore, says an expert. Then on Islam, that was funny, and I will end with this, I thought. Tamina, because she's talking Jesus and she's taking what Jesus, what he said, he was Tamina. Let's say he invented this or that. Well, he didn't claim. Yeah, he said I'm the son of God. So she's ironic. She's laughing with Jesus, which is, I mean, I'm an atheist, so. And it can do miracles. Think Monty Python's Life of Brian. Maybe the best comedy ever. One of the top 5 anyway. For me, but some like it hard. Doctor Strange. Anyway. King of comedy, with Nail and I. In fact, the top 5 will soon become top 6. Will become top 20. All as good as the rest. Top 5. In the Life of Brian, of course, they laugh at the history of the Romans. Except for waterworks, what else? I'm not quoting. Well, how about peace? How about public baths? How about roads? How about, and the list is sanitation. It is huge. So, and you can laugh at that. Now with Islam, you have a blank screen on which it says this is not available in your regions. Because of the controversy, because of recently Sweden looks like losing the bid to access NATO because of Erdogan, crazy, of course, an idiot, small tyrant, friend of Putin and others, and they burned the Quran outside the Turkish embassy in Stockholm. So no way, they want a law banning this in Sweden. We're a democracy, we can't change because you're mad. But it's, and of course the Charlie Hebdo killings, they can terrorist attacks, because, and so that's laughable. And why? It's not of it, nothing. And then something with the producer had to sign a paper for laughing a little on this thing that you can't talk of this. You can't. It's taboo. It's so mixed feelings there. Some parts, yes, amusing, but then some are just awkward and strange.